Do you ever feel like you don't quite fit into the usual categories? What if your quiet strength is actually your greatest power? Could it be that walking alone is the key to walking further than anyone else? Hi, my name is Alfred. Welcome to Time-Tested Advice, and for today's video, we're diving into the rare and powerful world of the Sigma female, a woman who doesn't follow the crowd, doesn't seek attention, and doesn't need permission to live life on her terms. The woman who follows the crowd will go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. Today, we are stepping into a world that few truly understand. The world of the Sigma female. She is neither the loud and dominant alpha nor the submissive beta. Instead, she operates in a space entirely her own, making moves in silence, observing without attachment, and holding a quiet strength that sets her apart. Sigma females are rare. They are independent thinkers, natural leaders, and unshaken by societal expectations. They don't seek validation or chase approval. Instead, they move on their own terms, thriving in solitude, but making an impact whenever they choose to engage. How do you know if you are one? The following habits will reveal whether you naturally walk the Sigma path. If you recognize these traits, congratulations. You are already a Sigma female, but if you don't, pay attention, because you might just be looking at the blueprint for a life of freedom, independence, and quiet power. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the Wisdom Ways so you never miss a chance to unlock deeper knowledge and insight. Now, let's dive in. 1. You don't chase, you attract by default. Sigma females never beg for attention, validation, or approval. This approach makes her a mystery to many. People often wonder, how did she achieve that? Where did she come from? How did she get so successful without anyone noticing? The answer is simple. She was working while others were talking. A Sigma female's power moves come from her ability to think strategically. She doesn't just act, she plans her steps carefully, stay focused. She doesn't let distractions or opinions derail her progress. Work in silence. She doesn't share her goals until they are already achieved. She understands that when you announce your plans prematurely, you open yourself up to unnecessary criticism, doubt, and sabotage. Instead, she prefers to build in private and shock the world when the work is done. This mindset applies to every area of her life, career. She doesn't announce she's working toward a promotion. She simply outperforms everyone until she gets it. Personal growth. She doesn't talk about leveling up. She just appears one day as a stronger, wiser version of herself. Relationships. She doesn't flaunt her happiness or success. She simply enjoys it without seeking approval. Her silent strategy gives her a massive advantage while others waste energy talking, explaining, and proving themselves. She is executing, achieving, and winning. She understands a universal truth. Those who truly have power don't need to prove it. They simply exist in it. 8. You don't fit the strong woman stereotype. You redefine it. Society has its own rigid definition of a strong woman. She's often portrayed as loud, aggressive, and constantly proving herself in a world dominated by men. But a Sigma female doesn't fit into that stereotype. In fact, she redefines strength in her own unique way. She doesn't need to fight for attention or demand respect. Her energy commands it, naturally. She doesn't feel the need to compete with men or constantly prove her worth in a world obsessed with dominance. Instead, she understands that real strength isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being unshakable in who you are. A Sigma female's strength comes from her inner confidence. She doesn't need external validation, independence. She relies on herself emotionally, financially and mentally, resilience. She faces challenges head-on without seeking pity or applause. What makes her different from the typical strong woman stereotype is that she doesn't need to be in control of others to feel powerful. She doesn't seek to dominate conversations, relationships, or workplaces. Instead, she operates on her own terms, at her own pace, and in her own space. Unlike an alpha female who often asserts herself as the leader of the pack, a sigma female doesn't feel the need to lead by force. She leads by example. She doesn't need to be in charge, yet people naturally gravitate toward her wisdom, independence, and quiet authority. This is why she often confuses people. She has the strength of an alpha without the arrogance. She has the depth of an intellectual without the need to flaunt it. She has the self-sufficiency of a lone wolf, yet she's deeply connected to those she truly values. Her strength isn't in how loudly she speaks. It's in how solid she remains when everything around her is uncertain. When others panic, she stays calm. When others seek external approval, she stands firm in her decisions. When others get lost in emotions, she remains logical and composed. She redefines the idea of a powerful woman by showing. That true strength isn't about proving yourself to the world. It's about knowing yourself so deeply that the world's opinions don't matter. 9. You see through people instantly. One of the most powerful yet underestimated traits of a sigma female is her ability to see people for who they really are. She has a razor-sharp intuition that allows her to read people's intentions, motives, and emotional states with unsettling accuracy. This isn't just a skill, it's almost a superpower. While others take people at face value, a sigma female notices the small details, the hesitation in someone's voice when they lie. The subtle body language shifts when someone is hiding something, the forced enthusiasm in someone trying to manipulate her. She reads between the lines, seeing beyond the words people say and into what they actually mean. This makes her extremely difficult to fool. Manipulators, liars, and fake personalities stand no chance against her. Because of this skill, she often avoids toxic relationships, fake friendships, and shady business dealings. While others might get caught up in emotional games, she sees the game being played before it even begins. However, this ability isn't just about detecting deception. It also allows her to connect deeply with the right people. When she finds someone genuine, she knows it. She can sense authenticity, kindness, and depth in others, making her relationships extremely meaningful and built on trust. This is why she often keeps a tight circle. She doesn't let just anyone into her life, and if someone breaks her trust, there are no second chances. She's done. No explanations, no dramatic exits, just quiet, permanent distance. In a world where deception is common, a sigma female's ability to see through people is both her shield and her weapon. You're not afraid of solitude, you crave it. For most people, being alone is a punishment. They seek constant distractions, whether through social media, relationships, or endless activities, because they can't handle sitting with themselves. A sigma female is the complete opposite. She craves solitude. This doesn't mean she's antisocial or disconnected. It means that her best thoughts, biggest breakthroughs, and deepest sense of self-awareness come when she's alone. She uses solitude to recharge. Socializing drains her even when she enjoys it. Think deeply. She values introspection and personal growth. Create, whether it's ideas, businesses, or strategies, her best work is done in silence. Unlike others who fear being alone because it forces them to face their thoughts, a Sigma female embraces it. She understands that solitude is where real self-discovery happens. This is why she's so independent. She doesn't rely on a relationship, a social group, or constant to feel complete. She is already whole on her own. Of course, she enjoys deep, meaningful connections, but she will never sacrifice her need for solitude just to keep others comfortable. If she needs space, she takes it without guilt, without explanation. This love for solitude makes her unshaken by loneliness, while others rush into bad relationships or friendships out of fear of being alone. She waits for the right people. She chooses her connections carefully because she knows that her peace is too valuable to be disturbed by the wrong company. When a Sigma female walks alone, she isn't lost. She's exactly where she needs to be. You're impossible to manipulate. One of the most defining traits of a Sigma female is her immunity to manipulation. She doesn't fall for emotional traps, guilt trips, or pressure tactics. While others might be easily influenced by flattery, peer pressure, or emotional games, a Sigma female sees right through them. Why? Because she values logic over emotions when making decisions. While she feels deeply, she doesn't let those emotions dictate her choices. This makes her nearly impossible to control, a trait that often frustrates people who are used to manipulating others. She can sense when someone is trying to guilt, trip her into doing something against her will, flatter her to gain favors or access, pressure her into following the crowd, create drama to provoke an emotional reaction. Instead of engaging, she simply disconnects. A Sigma female doesn't argue, doesn't fight, and doesn't waste energy on mind games. She removes herself from the situation, leaving manipulators powerless. This trait is why she's highly respected and sometimes even feared. People quickly learn that they can't control her, and as a result, they either respect her boundaries or leave. A Sigma female knows that real power isn't about controlling others. It's about being in complete control of yourself. And because of this, no one can use her emotions, fears, or insecurities against her. You leave without warning when disrespected. For most people, leaving a toxic situation is difficult. They hesitate, second-guess, or make excuses, but a Sigma female doesn't hesitate. The moment she feels disrespected, undervalued, or manipulated, she disappears without a trace. She doesn't engage in long, drawn-out fights or explanations. She doesn't try to convince someone to treat her better. She simply walks away, and once she's gone, she never looks back. This applies to all areas of her life. Relationships, if she's constantly disrespected or taken for granted, she leaves without warning and without regrets. Friendships, if she notices jealousy, betrayal, or toxicity, she cuts ties instantly. Workplaces, if she's undervalued or treated unfairly, she moves on to better opportunities. A Sigma female doesn't waste time on second chances for those who don't deserve them. She believes in mutual respect, and if that's missing, she sees no reason to stay. Her quiet but firm exit is what often shocks people the most. They don't see it coming. They assume she'll tolerate the disrespect like most people do. But when they realize she's truly gone, it's already too late. This is what makes her so powerful. She knows her worth, and she never begs for respect. You can adapt, but you won't conform. A Sigma female is highly adaptive. She can walk into any room, situation, or environment and adjust seamlessly. However, this doesn't mean she conforms. Unlike others who feel the need to blend in or change themselves to fit societal expectations, a Sigma female stays true to her identity no matter where she is. She can navigate different social groups, but never change who she is, succeed in structured environments without losing her independence. Respect authority, but never blindly follow it. Her adaptability allows her to thrive anywhere, but her refusal to conform ensures she never loses herself in the process. This is why she often stands out without trying. While others adjust their personalities to please those around them, she remains consistent, authentic, and unapologetically herself. Her secret: she understands that true success isn't about fitting in, it's about standing out in the right way. You have a mysterious aura, even if you're open, even if a Sigma female shares stories, opinions, or experiences. There's always a part of her that remains a mystery. People might feel like they know her, but deep down, they realize they don't fully understand her. This is because she naturally keeps certain parts of herself private, not out of secrecy, but because she values her inner world too much to share it with just anyone. This mysterious aura makes her intriguing. People are drawn to her not just for what she says, but for what she doesn't say. They want to know what she's thinking, what drives her, what she's truly feeling. But a Sigma female only reveals what she chooses to reveal. And that sense of control over her personal life gives her immense power. Her mystery isn't a game, it's a natural extension of her independence. While others seek validation by sharing every detail of their lives, she remains selective, private, and always a step ahead. You're not looking for a leader, you are the leader. While most people look for someone to guide them, a Sigma female is her own leader. She doesn't wait for permission, approval, or guidance. She creates her own path, rules, and destiny. She isn't interested in traditional leadership either. She doesn't crave power over others, nor does she need a title to prove her influence. Instead, she leads by example, inspiring others through her actions, mindset, and independence. Her leadership is quiet but undeniable, influential but not forceful, respected but not demanded. Because of this, people naturally follow her lead, even when she doesn't ask them to. They see her strength, clarity, and confidence, and they feel drawn to her wisdom. She doesn't need followers to validate her. She simply moves forward, and those who resonate with her walk beside her, not behind her. If you recognize these traits, congratulations. You are already walking the Sigma female path. You are independent, self-sufficient, and unshaken by the expectations of others. You don't seek approval, chase attention, or follow the crowd. Instead, you trust yourself, move in silence, and let your presence speak for itself. But if you don't resonate with these traits, maybe it's time to embrace the mindset of the Sigma female, one that moves differently, thinks deeply, and lives freely. Being a Sigma female isn't about fitting into a label. It's about knowing your worth, protecting your energy, and owning your power. You don't need validation to feel worthy. A Sigma female doesn't measure her value based on likes, compliments, or external approval. While others constantly seek reassurance to feel good about themselves, she stands grounded in her self-worth. Her confidence comes from within. She knows who she is, what she brings to the table, and what she deserves. This inner security makes her unshakable. Compliments are appreciated, but not necessary. Criticism is assessed, not absorbed. Her self-worth isn't up for negotiation. She's not trying to prove herself. She already knows her value. And this quiet, self-assured energy makes people gravitate toward her without her ever having to seek attention. You're always evolving, but never desperate to change. Growth is a priority for a Sigma female, but not because she thinks she's broken or lacking. She evolves out of desire, not desperation. She improves because she respects herself, not because she needs to impress anyone. Whether it's learning new skills, letting go of toxic habits, or refining her mindset, every change she makes is intentional and self-driven. She doesn't chase trends or change her identity to fit in. She grows at her own pace, in her own way. And this slow, steady transformation gives her a quiet power, the kind that doesn't shout but changes everything. Thanks for watching till the end. If this message hit home, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. You can even just say, "Hello." I read every comment and I appreciate the support.